What up, friends? Today's video is going to be a little bit mixed up because as you can see behind me, we are assembling V's motor. So I don't want to get anything dirty over here, but I also want to weld up my pipes because V is inside, like, still sleeping. If the videos are like kind of mixed matched-y up in between stuff, it's because I'm filming two things at the same time. So what I'm going to do on this thing is I'm going to get these two welds done and then this weld done, as you know, the shrinkage thing. So we'll get the shrinkage out of it, we'll come back, we'll weld this one after, and then everything has to come off be welded because we only tack welded here, and then this is only tack welded as well. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just try and back purge everything, which means you're putting argon from the bottle onto the inside of the weld so it also shields the inside of the weld so it doesn't sugar on the inside. Because we don't want it to fall apart pre-turbo. So usually pre-turbo I'll back purge it, post-turbo I won't. So we're using top of the line, top shelf Canadian Tire masking tape because we don't have any tin foil. I don't know, Ricky used it all, and he said he just needed for tomato plants, but I don't know. I need to get a set of purge plugs, what I need. Hold up, wait a minute. This video is brought to you by our own company, Black Sheep Industries. At Black Sheep Industries, we have got the coolest goddamn wastegates you ever seen in your whole entire life. And these things made with 100% pure love, and if you haven't got yours yet, you can visit blacksheepindustries.ca and get yours. And not only do we have 45mm wastegates, we have 60mm wastegates. We also sell turbos, turbo accessory parts, blow-off valves. And the best part is you help support your maple syrup eating frickin' Canadian over here. Blacksheepindustries.ca, check it out. First link down in the bio. I was wondering what was going on with my welding. It was 100% that other Fupa cup. I put the one on without this steel shield around it, and this thing is just covering like 100 times better than that old one. So yeah, not perfect, but yeah, I figured out my problem. Yeah, them dang on welds came out a little bit better than before. Jeez Louise. In theory, this should fit, but everything's just in theory around here, so I don't even know anymore. Bam. Look at that, Kyle. You're pretty good at doing stuff sometimes. So before I tack weld this side up, I'm actually going to take this side off, weld it up completely, even like right here and here. That way, so all the shrinkage is out of this side, and then when I weld this side on, it's actually... You're not trying to pull against each other or pull towards each other. One side, See that? That was the Count Chocula ice cream cereal. Man, with those raised head, like with the raised exhaust ports on this side, it pushes the manifold even closer to the fender. This one's a pain in the ass to put on. That one's not so bad. Just for size comparison, I did this. This is like a 67-62, this is like probably roughly the same size as a Precision like 62-66. Like the frame size, and then this is what we're putting on there. So you can see the difference in the size for sure. Wheels a little bit bigger, outlets a little bit bigger. I could like, that's 4 fingers, bro. Could fist it. Now I just gotta put on this side, get some tacks on it, and then that should be it. Pull it off, weld it. And I'm just gonna hang the turbo from it with our mount as well, just to get the proper weight on it. I just wanna make sure everything is going to line back up the way it is supposed to line back up. And if there's a certain angle that I need tweaked, now would be the time to do it. Now we just gotta pull it off and weld it. Boom, son, it's on there. Look at that. It kind of does look like a black sheep, people pointed out. It's funny. I didn't intend to do that. It's just like a funny coincidence. I'll put the turbo up here now. I should probably get the gasket for the turbo too, because I'm going to run a gasket. And then we'll get our position. We can start building the exhaust out the side now. I do have to add 2 wastegates to this thing, but I'm going to wait until the turbo and the exhaust are on first.
I'm here to bring Kyle oil drain fittings. And I'm gonna do some things. So, turbo, fistable. A lot of things in this garage. Dirty girl. Yeah. Stepsis likes that. Yeah.
Okay, now that we have the turbo mounted up here, we need to brace the turbo because we just don't want to let it hang off the turbo kit. So where this Maven mount comes in place, they actually make really, really nice products. So you bolt this onto the turbo, and you can put pipes in both sides of this thing and brace it to the frame somewhere. So your turbo is actually hanging on this and then not your pipe, so less chance to break them. We're gonna be using a JIC fitting for this. It's actually a little bit on the big side because it's made like a hydraulic fitting and needs to hold lots of pressure. So we'll drill this out some and make that hole bigger because it doesn't need to hold any pressure. It's just letting oil return back to the pan, and then this screws in the bottom of that mount. And this goes into our pan right here. So the drain is just a quick little from here to there. Perfect. The thing should just screw into the bottom of this. Yep. And it's O-ringed, and this side's O-ringed, so no dealing with any stupid gaskets or anything like that. There's nothing worse I hate than like a paper gasket on a turbo, because they always leak, and if you put silicone in them, they always go in the drain, and then you're screwed. It's weird to use upside down. Looks like it's just under 1/2 inch. We need to open that up for sure. The other side, the 12 AN side, is actually 0.6. So if we can at least open it up to that big. After some chitty bang bang, I'm not really good with the lathe, I'll admit it, and my lathe really isn't good for metal, but we went from something that looked like this to something that looks like this. Clear difference, right? I even tapered the end so the oil wants to go down in there too. Kyle, you so average. You're just the average dude, man. Now here's the sketchy part to test my turbo. To see if we pull this mount out, is it going to drop? Or crack, or break. I don't think so because there's no heat in it yet, but I need to be able to get the mount up under there so we can start fabbing to it. Need some vice grips. Crazy, this man says no, my vice grips are actually holding up the tripod because my tripod broke. There, all the weight's on our turbo kit right now. Are you kidding me? Will this not fit in here? Well, we found our first issue. The Maven mount will not work with this housing. The bolt holes are off, and if you take away material from this side, in order for the bolt holes to move down, then you run into risk of that O-ring not sealing anymore. Unless we just take it from no, that's the sealing side. Fuck. Okay, I think I've come up with a solution. It's a little bit different. Instead we're going to use Heim joints and a bar. We're going to put one bar across here to here, from frame rail to frame rail. They'll stiffen up the frame rail at the very least. And then a bar coming off the frame into this mount, and then double Heim so you can just twist this and pull it up and get all the tension off the turbo system, and then it'll be help resting on the Heim joint. And then we won't.
I mean, because you're short, like this is.
That's pretty strong, yes.
Like
but under heat.
Under heat and under load, it's gonna move. So
yeah.
I think you're right on that idea. And then use your Heims to suck up any twist the chassis is gonna take.
The only thing with running two Heims is vibration. Usually wreck stuff, but I mean, the turbo kit becomes a wear item anyways at this horsepower, probably.
Yeah.
People are always looking to like take ounces out of their car, and we're about to like. It's a heavy plate.
Wild. Kyle will be doing measurements, and something was 5/8, and then I asked him what was 5/8 and not 5/8.
This one's gonna be tricky to clean up.
So the issue is that this part of the frame was cut for the old turbo.
Yeah.
So Kyle's trying to clean the inside, but it's kind of hard to get in there
with anything, yeah.
with anything. What size do you adjust that to when you hammer?
It's got a hammer, look. If that's not a hammer, I don't know what a hammer is. That's my bird. .682. We're about like halfway there, I guess.
The bigger bit and the piece spinning the right way makes a difference.
Yeah. Stupid ass Kyle. Friggin' Smokio took over. You a lathe master now. I got you working on lathe, I got V building engines now. All I gotta do is fab now. Perfect. I was just grooving these ones out so we can put them on the bar and weld them so they're semi-clean to the bar. And we're just using that pipe right there for blanks. We don't have any 3/8 bolt or 5/8 bolts. So we're just cutting some, well, making some 5/8 dummy plugs to go inside these to line everything up. So yeah, our little dummy plug just fits inside here. And now I can use a C-clamp to hold it together. And the same thing as having a bolt, because the bolts supply stores are closed right now. And one in there too. Perfect.
Did you just touch hot metal?
Yeah.
All right.
Burn the f*** out of that thing a little. Fortunately for us, when we weld this, it's actually going to shrink probably 1 millimeter on each side with these welds.
Which is like, for those who don't know, millimeter approximately.
Gotta be comfortable, bro.
ABC's of welding, always be comfortable. Before you try to put it in, get your precision fitment tool ready.
Oh, doesn't fit very good. Angle that bit. Now we just gotta weld probably like the top and the sides on both sides.
This is my friend Weldy Face.
I'm Weldy Face. So we should be able to just like...
It's smoky over here.
Really? I think I should hold a turbo.
If you have a turbo that weighs more than you, you're cooler than Kyle.
The cool thing about this and not doing a Maven mount is if I want to switch to a GT55 series turbo, like a bigger frame turbo, no longer am I mounting there. I'm just like, I can just swap it on because I'm not bracing it from the turbo anymore. I'm bracing it from the manifold side.
And the whole idea behind this was that at the end of the day, for testing for True North turbos, you'll be able to easily swap.
Yeah, so our
multiple.
Our company, True North Turbos, obviously we make turbochargers. We plan on testing our 72 millimeter, our 76 millimeter, 79, 85, and 88, all on this motor, all on this setup. So just by hanging it from the flange, it's as easy as unbolting the one turbo, bolting the new one in, and they're all going to be race covers, all T6, so that everything should just fit. It should be like a 20-minute swap out on the dyno, and we should be able to test them all in one day, hopefully, and then give like actual numbers instead of just being like, yeah, it works well, because that's kind of when big power guys get a turbo, they don't dyno it, they just go to the track and they're like, okay, this is what it ran. You know, some people like numbers. I'm gonna weld the two Heim joints together now.
Really, I could just fuse weld the whole way. I know.
It ran out of threads. Yeah, I could just fuse weld it really. It's not exactly straight up and down now that I look at it,
But
that's okay.
so this is what it is.
Yeah, it's just,
Two Heim joints.
it is what it is. Welded on, and then they're welded on the backside of this, and so the manifold itself is obviously going to take a lot of the brunt of the weight and hold it in the position that it wants to be held in anyways, and this is just, you know,
Extra safety.
extra.
Kind of like the two you did on my car. When we did small turbos, because eventually the plan was to go bigger.
Well, when you hang the turbo here, it's going to want to like bend this way,
Yeah.
and this is just going to hold it from like bending down at all. Yep, everything still fits. Turbo blanket might be a little bit tight on the tight side, but and you know what it is? There was two marks on this side from welding, and I welded on the inner one instead of the outer one. Now I got to fix something that was in. My God, look at my hair today. I got to get it cut real bad. I had fixed something that's inevitably going to fail. This bar actually bent up. These things were actually tilting forward because it kept pulling on them to like strap the card on. So we're not strapping from here anymore, but I have to weld this plate right here to stop this thing from bending up again. So I just strapped it from here to the back of the K-member, ratchet strapped it, pulled it back into place, and now our radiator should fit where it was supposed to fit all along. Jeez Louise. Now if I look at that strap, it should stay where it was supposed to be. It's hard to weld at some contaminated stuff sometimes. Oh my God, that's the worst weld ever. Anyways, that's gonna work. I'm gonna clean down these welds, and then I'm just gonna tape off like the whole little front section here. I'm just gonna paint the whole front section so it looks half decent. I know the time crunch is on, but you can't have something looking like a piece of turd going down the track. I mean, you can. A fast piece of turd probably looks pretty cool. So while the paint is drying here, I'm not gonna sit around and watch it dry. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull off our throttle body. I'm gonna tap this one to get rid of this fitting. I'm also gonna pull out the screws here because if you watch Meticulous, these like to back out. So I'm gonna red Loctite those things in place. And then I do have a new set of injectors. These are Snake Eater Performance 1500s. And I have a set of 2200s from Performance Fuel Injection. They are local to Alberta. Awesome, awesome guys to work with. Top-notch stuff. They actually sent out a set for Tokyo too. His are 1300s because he has truck injectors in his right now, like decap truck injectors. And these ones are mine. And like I said, 2200, so we have to try and make them fit with our rails here. So they are a bit on the shorter side compared to these ones. So we're gonna have to figure out something to make them fit. Might have to make new brackets right here in the rails. It looks like somebody smashed the backside of these bolts with a waffle maker, like a tiny waffle maker anyways. So I don't really want to pull them out just in case, you know, it messes up my shaft, and I don't like my shaft messed up, so I'm just gonna tighten them and hope for the best. Like I tried to pull them out, except like that waffle piece is like spread out, like mushroom tipped, and then if you pull it through, you're gonna mess up the shaft. and you never want your mushroom tip to mess up the shaft. So it turns out my injectors are like, they're kind of short because I won't be able to get the bracket to bolt on under here and into the rail. So I stole Tokyo's little spacer things that he had on his injectors, so we'll have to get another set of those. So the spacer thing actually went over the end on that side, and you can see how it looks without it. And I just stole them. So now I've got to customize our little brackets here. Probably just lower the holes and then cut the top holes off it, because they're just a little bit too long now. They're about that much too long. So that bottom piece has to be up here on that platform. So instead of putting these things on the bottom like I intended, like down here, I'm gonna put them on the top, I think. Because it has this long passage to flow through here, I don't want it to screw up the spray pattern, because if you put it on this end, it would have to go all the way through that little tube and it has like nowhere to atomize. So I'm just gonna put it on the other end and hopefully, that doesn't hurt anything there. Basically, that's it. A bunch of these little things are taking up so much time. I did leave the top holes just in case we do have to switch back to the other injectors for whatever reason. Then I won't have to build new brackets. I can just use the top hole. It does bend in the rail a little bit, whatever. It's on there tight and that should work. Well, that's a little disappointing. My regulator no longer fits because it's lower now. And the rails are a bit more spread apart. Super sad. I don't have an AN flaring kit. This was like this when I got it. And I believe Nick flared this like 5 years ago. But I don't have the flaring kit for this. Dude, Smokio's over here peeling gaskets. Because we don't have paper gaskets, so we're using RTV like idiots. Intake manifold is on. I didn't put the bolts in because I want bigger washers. These washers they've been small since last year. But it does fit still. That's great. I'm going to put the exhaust pipe back on. Put the turbo back on. Start building a turbo kit. Well, the intake pipe and the exhaust pipe. Just one step closer, man. You just keep picking away at it and eventually it'll be done. Maybe, I don't know. It's like if you keep like eating it, but you don't eat it right, it's not gonna get done. So you gotta do it right. Yep. All right, I got the front bumper back on, turbo back on, flange on. I'm gonna start making some cuts in this big aluminized garbage pipe. See what we can come up with for an exhaust. Tokyo's still scraping gaskets, by the way.
Doing a good job.
I told Tokyo to wear one of my gloves to put silicone on, but they only fit my little girlish hands. Oh, you're gonna snap that right off.
No, we'll make this work. Oh yeah, I can.
Oh yeah, kind of fits your hand. There it goes. Little 90, or a little bend here, into a 90, into a 90. Now it just needs to be cut. Now we can put the compressor side back on and start doing the one that goes from here into there.
What if I like my exhausts uncut? Why doesn't it get the right to choose?
This is gonna be a video Easter egg. So I'm not even gonna say anything. Our wonderful world of friggin' up. So we put that bar in and we mocked it up with the exhaust side and like, oh yeah, perfect. Nothing's gonna hit there until you go to put this big compressor housing in and it no longer fit anymore. So it's only right there. And it's not by much, to be honest.
Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, but winning's winning.
Should I pull that exhaust side off? Probably worth it, just
For the sake of it.
for how easy it is.
So even if you could notch that and then just plate it across the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
No, I thought about it first and I said it, so it's
Yeah,
my
you-
idea.
You said it out loud first.
I said it
guess.
out loud first. Guy.
Trying to steal your ideas. I know what a dickhead I am.
I'm a master fabricator. I used this thing and did stuff. I mean, I undercut, but
I mean, either way, that piece has to get scrapped anyways. So I'm gonna have to test to see if it will just work. Like, even that would still be plenty strong. Touching the bottom side of this one. So I need to cut more to the bottom of this tube.
it's a large turbo cut.
It's gonna be a cut to get that in and out with a rad, I bet. That's you almost.
No, the rad's flat.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
see where these
You're right.
This is
Now
where
that
we're
I'm
at.
thinking, yeah, I don't know.
I can just leave that like that for now. There's still enough strength to hold the turbo there. I mean, that's my stupid workaround for no Maven mount, so just have to paint that up.
Damn, Kyle, that's pretty close.
Yeah, I just need probably cut a little tiny sliver off it again and see where we're at from there. Just trying to reuse all the pipe that we have so we don't have to like spend more money building new piping, because I didn't anticipate having to build a new turbo kit. I was just gonna bolt it back on the way it was.
You also spent enough on piping when you did 8 turbos twice.
Yes. So the other thing that we can do is cut a piece of straight section out of this, get these 2 straight sections close, and then fill the straight section. Because once you have two bends in a pipe, you can actually adjust them to kind of fit. So I think I'm going to cut a section out of this one right here, because I don't have a long section. And then hopefully I have a piece that long actually.
You have a straight piece right here.
That vertical bandsaw though. Oh! Now we have 2 bends to choose from. That peak weight. So we've got basically what we've figured out with all our used piping is we can get to, it goes on here somehow, right about there, and it just comes up just short. So we can tack weld up what's on here.
8 inches gap there.
Yeah, just too short, which is, I mean, if I rotate it a bit,
Dude, you might be.
that might be money right there, actually.
You might have to fill a little bit with rod, but. Where's marker?
No, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if you want it marked.
Yeah, so I'll just come back out and I'll weld this tomorrow. It's time to go in. It's getting real late. But that's what our turbo kit is going to look like, basically. Yeah, got the exhaust tacked up and in place. We had to notch the frame there for the turbo to fit in, but that's it. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace easy. Get that V.